Why do Christians believe that Jesus was the son of David, who ushers in God's kingdom on earth as the long-awaited Jewish Messiah? The opening chapters of the New Testament clearly articulate this truth to followers of Jesus. Throughout the gospel, the apostle Matthew, who was one of Jesus' 12 disciples, continually emphasizes how Jesus is the continuation of God's relationship with Israel. Because Matthew himself was Jewish. He would have been extremely familiar with the Old Testament, and the writer identifies at least 15 different times in which some aspect of the life of Jesus fulfills the scriptures. Since Matthew was writing to a predominantly Jewish audience when he first penned his gospel, he wanted to highlight how Jesus fulfills God's promises to Israel as the son of David, Israel's long-awaited Messiah king, the Son of God, the Son of Man, the greater Moses, and Emmanuel, God with us. Why do you think Matthew begins his gospel with the genealogy of Jesus? He's being intentional. His audience would have recognized and valued the Jewish custom of tracing one's ancestry. So this was Matthew's way of grounding Jesus, his identity, in their shared heritage. The opening verse of Matthew reads, "The book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham," Matthew 1:1. Matthew clearly wants to immediately identify Jesus as the Christ or Messiah, who comes from the line of David to reign over the earth eternally, ultimately solidifying Jesus' legal claim to his throne and tracing his royal lineage. Because Jesus came from the line of David, he fulfills God's covenant with David as detailed in 2 Samuel 7:1-17, when God promises David that his throne shall be established forever. I love how Matthew 1:1 also describes how Jesus is the legal heir to God's covenant promises to Abraham, clearly identifying Jesus as the promised one, through whom all families on the earth would be blessed back in Genesis 12:3. This emphasizes the everlasting and eternal nature of God's covenant with Abraham. Ultimately, by opening up his gospel with a genealogy of Jesus that emphasizes his legal descent from Abraham and David rather than his biological descent from Adam, as Luke chooses to do in Luke 3, Matthew is introducing Jesus in a way which God has chosen to redeem Israel and fulfill his promises to his people. And that's why followers of Jesus believe he is and was the long-awaited Messiah, who has extended God's plan of salvation to all nations through the preservation of God's chosen people, the nation of Israel.